Why should you care about the circle of fifths? What is the point? Here are 3 reasons it's important in music. The first one is that the circle of fifths explains how all of the notes in music are related. The chromatic scale is the pattern you use to pick out and play other scales, like the major scale, and also the various modes, and melodies, and chords. But how do you know which notes to use in these patterns? Which notes sound good together? The circle of fifths is what tells us, because there's a special connection between it and the chromatic scale. And you get there by taking every other note in the chromatic scale and then rotating them 180 degrees to form the circle of fifths, where every note is now positioned between its harmonic neighbors. And to picture this more intuitively, you can apply the color wheel where all the colors, like all the notes, are arranged in sequence. So when you rotate the notes back into the chromatic scale, you can see and hear these harmonic relationships baked into the notes. And these relationships inform which notes sound good together as you make music. That's the first reason the circle of fifths is important. The second reason is that it also explains how chords are related. Just like there are special connections between individual notes where each is harmonically related to its neighbors in the circle of fifths, the same is true for the chords that are built from these notes. For example, if each of these colors represented a major chord, this pattern shows us which chords are especially compatible. So if we play only the harmonies that are neighbors in the circle of fifths, it's going to sound good. And no matter which set of chords you use, the same relationships apply since this pattern is symmetrical. And finally, the third reason the circle of fifths is useful is because it shows how all keys are related as well. So at first, we saw how it highlights the connections between individual notes, and how when these colors represent chords, the same harmonic relationships are there. But when you add all of the chords within each key, including all of the minor and diminished chords, you get a complete picture of every key, like the key of C major, and the key of G major, and so on, where you can see the overlap of shared chords between keys. In fact, this one image shows not only every major key, but also all of the different modes and the relationships between them. So you can literally see what you're playing and why, which is what music theory means by definition, to see sound, and what the circle of fifths helps you to do. These are the reasons why the circle of fifths is important, because it explains the relationships between notes, chords, keys, and modes.